Boy, this is going to make you think. Do constitutional counties, or Second Amendment sanctuaries, undermine the United States Constitution? Before I jump into that, I want to thank the sponsor of the video, and that's Lear Capital. Inflation is killing our wallets at the pump and the grocery store. Interest rate hikes are killing our small businesses and the economy. Banks are failing. The dollar is failing. And it seems to be getting worse day by day. But the good news is that we can protect ourselves and our financial futures by holding tangible assets like gold and silver. So why wait? Do what I did and call my friends at Lear Capital. They helped me purchase my gold and silver and showed me just how easy it actually is to add physical gold or silver to an IRA or a 401k. Give them a call today. It's 1-800-260-5075 or check them out at leargg.com. Links and phone number will be down in the description for you. Once again, that's leargg.com or 1-800-260-5075. All right, I've seen a growing concern for us, a growing pushback on the left about Second Amendment sanctuaries, now commonly called constitutional sanctuaries, and it's concerning. But first, if you think Second Amendment sanctuaries are a step in the right direction, then like and subscribe down below. Guns and Gadgets is where you get Second Amendment news every single day, whether it's legislation or litigation or anything in between. I bring it to you every day right here on the channel. If you want to stay in the know, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button down below, like the video, share it, and turn the bell notification on so that you are notified, hopefully, when I put out new content. All right, so generally speaking, a Second Amendment sanctuary is a city, county, or other jurisdiction that has adopted a resolution declaring that restrictive gun control laws passed by a higher legislative body, like the federal government or the state legislature, that they violate the United States Constitution and will not be enforced in that jurisdiction. Now, these resolutions are intended to send strong messages to legislators that law-abiding gun owners, represented by their local governments, are opposed to these gun control measures. Now, some locations make a proclamation that is essentially an acknowledgement encouraging their legislators or their law enforcement agencies not to enforce federal firearm regulations, while other municipalities have passed an ordinance which not only state and local or county officials would not enforce most federal, state, or local firearm laws, but the municipalities would also issue fines to anyone who did attempt to enforce or help enforce a restrictive gun regulation. See the Missouri Second Amendment Preservation Act. So how do they work? Well, under the 10th Amendment, a lot of these resolutions are based on. The 10th Amendment basically says that states have the ability to decide what to do when it comes to anything that's not in the Constitution, right? Anything not specifically in the Constitution, any of the powers not specifically in there, are relegated to the states. Now, keeping up with the exact numbers of how many counties, or sanctuaries rather, are out there is extremely difficult. There is not one location that has all the information, and it changes often. For instance, last week or 2 weeks ago, a new county popped up in Wisconsin, and Kentucky just became a Second Amendment sanctuary state itself. But by most reports, they say that more than 60% of all of the counties in the United States have some form of Second Amendment sanctuary in place, as do 18 states. Now I'm going to try to give you some of the stats that I ripped through, could find. If these are incorrect, do not kill the messenger. Like I said, it's extremely difficult to get all of the factual data on these, because some of these counties just make the declaration and we never hear about it because it's not covered. And like I said, there's no one place that aggregates these stats. But those with a statewide sanctuary: Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Idaho, Kansas, Kentucky, brand new, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Now, not all of the states have Second Amendment sanctuary laws in place at the state level. Those that don't, however, 12 of them have a majority of the counties in the state designated as Second Amendment sanctuaries, which most of the state thus being covered. Those include Colorado, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, North Carolina, Oregon, Virginia, and Washington. Yeah, Washington. Now, some states have counties that have enacted Second Amendment sanctuary policies despite having no statewide gun sanctuary resolutions, right? That's obviously. And there are 13 states where a minority amount of the counties in the state are Second Amendment sanctuaries, or constitutional sanctuaries like they're being called now. Alabama, California, Georgia, Indiana, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Like I said, these are changing every day. So if something has changed, or if I couldn't find that information, do not kill the messenger. There are 8 states that have no Second Amendment sanctuary declarations at all, neither at the state or the local level, and those are Connecticut, shocker, Delaware, Hawaii, shocker, Iowa, Massachusetts, shocker, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. And there's been a lot of federal pushback lately. You may remember I've covered several videos on the Joe Biden administration directing his Department of Justice to sue the state of Missouri over their SAPA, which is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Initially, it was ruled unconstitutional, but the legal fight over the constitutionality of that law continues, and Missouri's Attorney General is fighting hard. Now, the court that said that Missouri's SAPA was unconstitutional relied on Article 6 of the United States Constitution, and Article 6 declares that the Constitution itself and the federal laws are the supreme law of the land, the Supremacy Clause. You may have heard of that here several times. And that those cannot be overruled or superseded by state laws or laws at lower levels of government, unless it's something that the administration really wants and they just ignore the Constitution altogether, like immigration and stuff like that. But yeah, back to the point. A growing belief by the anti-gun groups is that the declaration of a constitutional county, or Second Amendment sanctuary, undermines the authority of the officials in those areas who are authorized to act under the Constitution. Yeah. The belief by them, or by those groups, is that resolutions that instruct police not to enforce certain laws, such as red flag laws, which we've covered ad nauseum, but it's a big violation of the Second Amendment, they also violate Article 6. Now, I'm going to add that the Second Amendment, as we all know, should know, states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. So if you want to lean on the supreme law of the land, the Supremacy Clause, shall not be infringed is pretty easy to understand. But this is a growing view that we need to be aware of and discuss with our friends, family, and neighbors. And if you're not doing that regularly, please change that. We need to go back to the small communities that are working together to better themselves. And I am blessed to have been able to find one in my own neighborhood. Like this neighborhood I now live in is, I have never experienced in my life, 47 years old, the tight-knit group like this community is that I am blessed to be in. And for those who may watch this, thank you for accepting me in this crew. It's amazing. And you guys and gals could easily do that for yourselves simply by starting conversations. And I urge you to do that. So this is a growing view, like I said, that we need to be aware of and discuss with our family, friends, neighbors, and our community. And this is the question I pose to you. Does an attempt to force local governments and local law enforcement to follow the Constitution actually violate the Constitution by nullifying federal laws it finds objectionable? Do assertions of a right to obstruct federal law or to impede the exercise of a federally guaranteed right and liberty raise constitutional problems? Now, those are some of the concerns I hear by the anti-gunners, but I agree with the fact, or with the premise, that removing, if needed by force, the tyrannical acts of local state, county, law enforcement, or government, I think that's great. I think it's really, really great. Because remember, when people fear the government, you have tyranny, and when the government fears the people, you have liberty. But I want to know, what say you? I would love for you to comment your thoughts down below and share this with everybody, because like I said, this is a growing pushback to Second Amendment sanctuaries, or constitutional sanctuaries, or constitutional counties as they're being called. And we're going to hear more of this from the left, because they're losing regularly in court now post-Bruen. And it's magnificent. I would love for it to happen immediately. We all would. It's going to take time, because that's how this country, this is how this whole system was designed specifically for laws. It takes time. Nothing should be done rapidly. Otherwise, they could take away rights, lickety split, and we'd all be screwed. But what do you guys and gals think about this down below? This is something that I've been hemming and hawing over for about 2 weeks, to be honest with you. And I finally, it was Father's Day. I was driving over the mountains to Asheville, North Carolina, to take the family shopping. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to see what my community thinks about this, because it's concerning. So let me know down below. Thank you all for your love and the respect you show me by watching my videos. And just know it's not lost on me, and I am very humbled. Guys and gals, if you love this community, the Second Amendment, you love the ability for us to be free, then like and subscribe down below. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care.